Welcome to this video. So today we talk about digestive health, and this is part of a series, so make sure you watch the whole playlist on my channel about gut health. For example, we have a video about how to use probiotics in the correct way, and yeah, treating our digestive system is usually a multi-step. We need a multi-step approach. So this video shows you a part of that. We are going to talk about mainly about what to do if you have gas or bloating or reflux and things like that, if you feel full after eating. So now you might say, but what, isn't this normal and everybody has it? So yeah, no and yes, everybody has it, almost everybody, but that doesn't mean it's normal. That doesn't mean we should have symptoms like feeling very full after eating and very bloated. Or if I hear the question, how many farts per day are normal, then my answer would be, if you ask this question, then probably we should do something about it. So yeah, we have many herbs actually in this category that we're talking about today. You might find them in your kitchen. I brought here my half of my spice cabinet from the kitchen to show you some of those things and how to use them. Many of these ideas are from Ayurveda, and I'm going to introduce some Ayurvedic concepts, but breaking them down really easy and simple. And yeah, you can probably start right away after watching this video with using some of those ideas. So let's dig into the weeds. Okay, so I told you I have my whole kitchen cabinet here, my whole spices and things that I use for cooking and making teas, and this is exactly what is the approach to treating gas and bloating, also reflux, yeah, and those kind of minor issues, or we think of them as minor issues, but yeah, that's the problem actually, because you think it's normal to be full, or it's normal to have a certain amount of gas or bloating after eating or during the day or later in the day, and you might think, oh, maybe it's just I react to something, it's only when I eat wheat or dairy, but the truth is, you know, yeah, you have found a symptom if you find out, oh yeah, I get gas when I eat wheat or dairy or something like this. But it's actually just a symptom that you should treat. So it's not that you should just avoid those those foods for the rest of your life. I mean, in some cases, I'm not talking about celiac here, I'm talking about the normal kind of intolerances, that certain foods cause you discomfort or gas or something. So I'm not talking about the real food allergies here. It's a bit difficult to draw the line, but I've seen many of those issues resolve if they are really appropriately treated. So yeah, those can be used in things like that. You have intolerances, or you cannot tolerate certain foods, or you get gas, or almost everything you eat causes you gas or bloating, and yeah, those of course are the first signs, and we can ignore these sometimes even for years and not treat them properly, and then down the line they lead to those intolerances. They can lead to autoimmune disease, they can weaken our immune system overall, and we can be more easily get infections or cold and flu and things like that. So yeah, it's good to not ignore those early signs of digestive distress, but to help our bodies. And those approaches, of course, they are tried and true and scientifically proven since a long time. This is nothing new what I'm telling you here, but you won't normally get those ideas from your conventional doctor. Like modern medicine, yeah, would give you an antacid for your reflux, or yeah, I mean, if things get really worse, then they have treatments with pharmaceuticals that treat acute conditions, but we're talking about a chronic condition that develops slowly and over time, and that we should just prevent from developing and getting worse. So what we have is a huge range of herbs, and many of those you might have already in your kitchen, or hopefully you're already making teas out of those spices. So many of those are seeds, and they are in the parsley family, so the umbellifers. So like fennel seeds or anise seeds that I have here. Yeah, can you see that? So you can also see those look pretty similar. So this was anise seed, and then let's see where I have my fennel seed. It looks pretty similar. It's a bit bigger and the color is a bit different, but this would be fennel. And those, all of them, they have like essential oils. They have a strong smell and taste to them. They are used in food yeah, not only in India, in Ayurveda, but also, you know, for example, in Italy, in Spain, they would put fennel seeds into their pork sausages that have a lot of fat to help with the digestion of the fat. So those spices have been always used to make hard to digest foods easier digestible. And in Ayurveda, they call this kindling the Agni, the digestive fire. So you kind of stoke the digestive fire, all those juices and enzymes that have to be produced and released by your body. This is what those spices stimulate, and they also dispel the gas. They prevent the gas from forming, or even if you already have gas, they can just destroy the gas. So they are perfect anti-gassers. Yeah, they also help the digestion go in the right direction. I mean, of course, your digestion goes in the right direction normally, downwards, but maybe it's kind of slow, and you know, you have things going in the wrong direction, like burps or reflux. So if there's anything inverted in this digestive process, like the reflux, the burping, or also constipation would be, yeah, something where it's kind of blocked a bit, this downward movement. In Ayurveda, they call this the Apana Vata or the Apana Vayu, that which moves the Vata downwards. So the Vata is just, yeah, this movement energies and a lot more. I mean, we can talk about Vata for at least a couple of hours, but yeah, it's a very rooted Ayurvedic concept to help the right direction in the digestive tract and to re-establish the right direction. So if you have anything going upwards, like reflux or something, this is the wrong direction, obviously. No? So those seeds and spices, they help us to revert that, and they can also help us having regular bowel movements. So also further down, of course, we get better results, like more often, better consistency and all that. Probably we have to include some more steps. If you have really issues with constipation, this would not be my only plan to give you those digestive spices. Let me just introduce this term. In herbalism, we call those carminatives. Yeah, and I really don't know what other general term to use for those herbs that I'm going to talk about today. So let's learn this new word here. Carminatives, this comes, yeah, from traditional herbalism. It just means herbs that treat gas or something like this. So yeah, those are our anti-gas herbs, and they do a lot of other goodness for our digestive system. No? They release all those enzymes and all those digestive juices to help us better digest our food. So yeah, what spices, what else do we have here? Let me see. We have, of course, also coriander, you know, those round coriander seeds that you can see here. So okay, you can use these in cooking. You can make a tea out of it. You know, a normal, like a chai tea, for example, combines many of those spices, a little black pepper, some cinnamon, some, yeah, anise, fennel. You can throw everything in there. Actually, cardamom is also really good and really tasty. And what I usually do, I have a ready mix. I drink my chai not with black tea, but with rooibos tea as a base. So then I don't have the stimulants in it, like the black tea, and I can drink it the whole day. So this is my ready mix with some of those digestive spices and some rooibos tea. So I would make a chai. You can add some plant-based milk. You can add some sweetener to it. And I have also always ready, where is it? My daily spice mix. Yeah, here is one. This one I use more for cooking. Where's the other one? Ah, yeah, here's the other one. So I have one mix where I actually kind of roasted some spices. Like, this is more for cooking. This is kind of an instant curry, let's say. This is for any Indian dishes, or with coconut milk and vegetables you make. Yeah, I mean, throw it into whatever you think it would taste good in. So this is the coriander seeds and fennel. What else can I see? Ajwain, cumin, of course, black pepper. So I roasted those slightly, and then I can grind them in my coffee grinder, just, or with a mortar and pestle would also work, and just grind them up right before cooking, and yeah, throw them into your food. And that's also a good way. And of course, this is what Indian cooking and many other Asian cuisines use those spices on a daily basis. So yeah, that's what we should get back to, I think. And then I have my chew mix. So here in this jar, if I didn't put many spices in the food, or yeah, I eat something where this kind of curry spice mix would not combine well with. Then I just have my chewing spices, and I chose fennel, anise and cardamom, which I like, and I just get a teaspoon or 2 or 3 and I chew them, 1 teaspoon before the meal, and then usually during the meal I just grab another teaspoon and another one while I eat, and I chew it, so I get the fresh, you know, the essential oil, and the flavor is kind of fresh. You could of course also grind it, but I would not pre-grind it for a long time and then take it, because of course those essential oils, and those are the ones that we want, that are important in this effect, they would evaporate and kind of get lost a bit. So I usually have it whole and then just chew it and eat it together with my food. Yeah, this is one way to do it. You can of course, the same mix I could use to make a tea. If it's seeds like that, I would just boil them a little bit, or I would I would freshly grind them, or in a pestle and mortar I would just crush them a little bit. How do you say crash them, smash them a little bit, and then make a tea so it extracts a bit more faster or more easily. Yeah. So you can, I usually let my clients make their own choices. So this video is also for all of you that I have given personalized health recommendations, and you might be overwhelmed at first because I give you a whole range of choices. This is sometimes overwhelming for people. So, you know, you could use caraway, you can use cumin, you can use cardamom. It doesn't matter that much. Those are all those seeds from this umbellifer family, so they are similar. Some are a bit more pungent, some are less pungent, or I mean there are differences in the aroma, but they all have this good effect in the digestive tract that we want. So if somebody says, oh, I really don't like caraway, which by the way is really excellent if you bake a bread or something, you can put some caraway in. That is what they do in Germany. It's really common to do that. So it also depends how you use those spices. Maybe you discover something new and you discover a way to use them that you didn't see before. For example, you can also sweet dishes. If you eat in the morning an oatmeal that is a bit sweetened with some fruit or honey, and you eat this in the morning, couple of nuts in there, you can put some fennel, you can put some cinnamon, cardamom, clove. All those spices would also combine really well with your sweet, or more in the direction of sweet going breakfast. So yeah, just find some new ways to integrate those spices in all your meals. Yeah, breakfast included. So breakfast, lunch and dinner, and ideally also with a snack, you would have just chew a couple of those seeds or have a tea that you drink during the day. Yeah. What we can also throw into the mix would be some licorice that has a bit of demulcent effect. So licorice is not a carminative actually, but it can also soothe the gut membranes. It's pretty sweet, so there's a certain limit of how much you can put. So put a bit less if you have like, I always have powdered licorice root that I put into teas or chai. I also have those licorice pieces, those that you would have to boil for a little bit to extract, or you can also just chew them and have them just in the mouth a little bit. You could add some ginger powder, but this is of course a bit pungent. But maybe you have that and you like it in a tea, in a chai or something. You can add some chamomile flowers. I use those. They're also slightly bitter, and the bitterness gives also an extra effect for the digestive juices and can be good to complement those umbellifer seeds. We also have a very famous remedy from Hildegard von Bingen. She was a German herbalist in the Middle Ages. She's a very interesting, fascinating woman. And she talks a lot about this Bertramwurzel. I have to say it in German. No, but what is the translation? It is Pellitory. Pellitory in English. And the botanical name Anacyclus. Anacyclus, different kind of subspecies. So, this is her traditional root for the digestive system, and not only for that, it's to treat fever and many other things. Because our digestive system it impacts pretty much every other aspect of our health. I already mentioned the immune system, of course, but so many things, you know. I mean, our digestive tract has to properly work and excrete what has to go out. This is also important for our hormones, for example. If hormones keep circulating in our blood and we want to get them out, the liver has to detox them in a way and get them out of our body. So it can have an impact on any area of our health. So that digestive health is a good area to focus on and to treat. So you shouldn't have gas or bloating or feel full. You shouldn't feel any discomfort actually in your digestive system after eating. Not right after eating, and not 4 hours after eating, and not in the evening that you always get bloated, like after 4, 5, 6 o'clock you feel like you have all this food piling up from the whole day and it just doesn't move through. So we talk more about the art and science of bowel movements in another video that I'm going to post soon, which you can find in the same playlist about digestive health. Is there something else I want to show you? We have some other ways, just to give you some options. So you can take those herbs in your food, in the cooking, as a tea, like a chai tea, or just, there's a very simple formula in Germany. It's very popular and famous. It's just fennel, anise seed, so not the star anise, but anise seed, and caraway. So those 3 herbs, they're very widely used for nursing moms, so that the baby does not get gas if the mom drinks the tea. And after 6 months you could also give small quantities to the baby itself. And for gas for babies, for adults, it's a wonderful tea. It's a mix that you can buy in any pharmacy, in any store, almost in the supermarket even. So this would be an option. You can make more fancier chai teas and combinations, so you can use all the herbs that you like the taste of. And that's why I want to give you this wide range of choices of those herbs, because if you say, oh, I don't like whatever, black pepper is too hot for me, or cardamom, or this is cardamom here, I don't know if you can see this, the bottom of the jar, so those are already peeled. Of course they come in those pods and it's really delicious, and it's expensive, but you need less of the cardamom, so you can just in a chai mix, you would use only a little bit of the black pepper, for example, and a little bit of the cardamom, but a bit more of the fennel or of the cinnamon, or those other spices that you can use in those tea. I want to talk about this ready Ayurvedic formulas. So this is a mix I made myself, but it's inspired by Ayurvedic formula that is called Hingvastak. So Hing is this yellow powder that you can find in Indian stores. It's very pungent, it's very intense. Actually, this is already diluted because it's also just an umbellifer plant. It's something like a big fennel plant that it's very intense. Your whole kitchen will smell like this if you cook with this. So it's just this yellow powder. It's not turmeric. It is very intense. The smell is really strong. And of this Hing, there is a little bit in this mix, just a little part, and more of there's cumin, fennel, ajwain, long pepper, black pepper. I put some fenugreek. I think this is not in the original formula. I think ginger is probably also in the original formula. So you can also, those formulas are also, they have a bit of wiggle room, and you can invent a bit with them. But this would be an Ayurvedic formula that you can get even ready-made and comes already in the powder form. I mean, I said before, I prefer to grind my spices before using them. So I usually store them whole and then I grind them up. But it's nothing against grinding them up as a powder to just have them ready to go if that's easier for you. The important thing is that you take them, and so just make it as easy as possible for you. And if you want to have a already ground up spice mix that you can use for teas or in the food, so this I would use in some dishes, just sprinkled over the food in the end, or you can also just take some teaspoons, stir it into some water and just drink it down. There's also another Ayurvedic formula. It's called Trikatu. So this is black pepper, long pepper, and ginger. So those are also 3 excellent carminatives. It's a bit hotter, like a bit more pungent in the taste, but this would also be perfectly suitable if you like that. And you could even put it into capsules. This is another way you can take those. So if you really don't like the taste and the black pepper and all this, that sounds like really too hot for you, you can encapsulate those, and you have it on the go if you need to take those. When you leave the house, it's maybe easier. You could also have those in capsules. So those are the many ways to take those herbs. And I get 2 kinds of feedbacks from my clients. One is this overwhelm. This is why I'm making this video, just to break it a bit down for you and just to explain you the options. And maybe it's too many options for you, so you can just buy something ready like the Hingvastak or Trikatu, or just buy some fennel tea. At least that, decide on one herb that you like, or make the mix for putting in the food, make the mix for making a chai. So just to show you these options, this is one feedback that I get, like the overwhelm and not knowing where to start, and I hope this video helped you with this. And the other feedback is that people just do it and then they're so grateful and thankful, and then they say something like, oh, they didn't actually know it's possible to not have a bloated belly after eating, which they had basically their whole life, and now this symptom is totally gone. Or yeah, they didn't know what to do anymore with their reflux or with their gas and all that, and it's all gone. So this is the second type of feedback that I wish to get from all of you. So leave me a comment below and click the like button and all this. I don't know what to say in the end. Yeah, most important thing, check out the playlist. Yeah, I have this whole playlist about gut health, or maybe there are some other interesting playlists on my channel that are interesting for you for certain health issues, about migraines and yeah, many other things. So have a look around at my channel and make sure you're subscribed, and hopefully see you next time. Ciao.